Welcome to Fuji Speedway and the 2016 NISMO Grand Prix. As you can see, we're down on the starting grid just before the start of the race. We're going to have a walk through the field and see who we can find and what we can learn, have a look at the starting order and talk about the race to come. Work our way past these rather wonderful race queens as we go along. And on pole position for the Grand Prix is, of course, the #1 NISMO Motorsports GT-R, the GT500, and it's the highest finishing car in the championship in 2016, and that's how they've gridded the cars up. And we have Ronnie Quintarelli, if we can try and grab him over to have a word. Ronnie, final race for this car, this form of this car. You're on pole position. Are you going to win it?
Yeah, this year, unfortunately, we couldn't get the title in Super GT. This is the last race with this car, yeah, on NISMO Festival. To be a fun race, but I will try to together with Matsuda-san to win.
Now, it's a battle of honor for you guys, you drivers, but sitting right behind you on the starting grid is the old enemy. It's Mr. JP Oliveira.
Yeah, it's a very old days enemy. So it will be a nice battle, and sure, as every year, the fan will enjoy it.
And those Michelin tyres, super soft for this cold day. Are you going to change tyres in the race?
No, by regulation, nobody will change the tires, just driver change. And actually, we are a bit hard with the compound, not really fitting well this very cold condition, but we try to warm up it in the formation lap and to go.
Thanks, Ronnie. So let's go and have a look down the grid. Forum Engineering, second position. I think Daiki Sasaki will be starting that car. Third on the grid, as we just heard, it won't be Daiki Sasaki, of course, it will be JP Oliveira on the start line. I can't see JP at the moment, but the Calsonic car, one of the most popular cars in Super GT. Just look at the aero detailing on that. Look, just get in a look, have a look at these little details. It's a real shame these cars won't be seen racing again in Super GT. These GT500s are amazing. Look at the wing section on that, where it says Ediran Chang Motor, and yeah, other sections to look at as well. Final one of the GT500s is our man Chio. Now Chio hopes he can win because he thinks the blue car and the red car are going to crash into each other, so all he has to do is beat that number 24 Forum Engineering car. First of the second part of the grid is the GT3 car. This will be driven by Jan Mardenborough, who's around on the grid somewhere. This is the Australian GT Championship 2015-2014 specification Nissan GT-R GT3. And if you look at the front wing, the little winglets, these canards, they're of a different design to the latest 2016 specification. So Mardenborough is also on these Michelin tyres, which aren't as good, he says. And we're going to ask Jan about the tyres. Jan, how did you find those tyres, those Michelins? You had a little bit of lap from the pits.
They're brand new. So what Chio said, they're hard compound. 20 degrees too cold for what they're used to. So yeah, if you go and feel them, they're still cold and they still have the sheen on them. So I think he's going to be coming past me into turn one because I'm going to have to be braking maybe 50 meters before everyone else.
It sounds like it's going to be a bit lively. Good luck out there, Jan. So as you say, second position is the RJN Engineering car. This is the Blancpain Endurance car. BRDC badge, and you'll recognise those drivers. This is the 2016 car, and this is the actual 2016 car. I didn't think that was coming out. It was going to be a sticker job, but this is the one we saw at RJN a few weeks ago on Nismo TV News. Now, here in third position is in the GT3 class. You see it's got the old style wings on it, and they're all lining up here. We're going to have a quick word. English for Nismo TV?
Yep, English.
So, third position. Jan Mardenborough thinks his tyres are the wrong tyres for this. The UK guys on the Yokohamas, how do you think you're going to get away from the line? Third position on the grid in GT3.
I didn't know about the tires because we were using the same as Blancpain Endurance in the China GT Championship. So to be honest, never used these tires. But there's a little thing happened to our sister team BMAX. So actually, I've borrowed a sensor, a downshift blip sensor to his car. So actually, I might not be able to do the race. So yeah, we will see what it will affect on the car. But the priority to let the Super GT car run.
Okay, well, it should be quite a good race. Now, racing up against the GT500s, that's going to be a bit of a new experience, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. I've been testing these days, and the GT500 cars are just so quick in the corner. Sometimes it's difficult to see here they're coming. But luckily, Fuji is a big track, so I hope in the race everything will be fine.
Good luck with that. We'll keep going down the grid. BMAX Engineering, that's Jan Mardenborough's normal car, but Jan's not in it here. And it looks like, as you say, look, yeah, does appear to be a problem for the BMAX engineers. They are all over some problem with the shift sensor. So maybe there's going to be a start issue for BMAX Engineering. And this is a team that very nearly won the GT300 championship this year. So we'll leave them to it. The Zero car, the public are allowed on the grid, by the way, so it's going to get quite busy down here any moment. But there's the Gainer Tanax car, which is one of the last. This is all gridded up in championship order for GT300. This is a strong car, so this could be a bit of a sleeper. Tomita will be starting this car. There are no driver changes, though, in GT300. There will be driver changes in GT500. Pinkzilla back here alongside, as usual, Bumblebee. Very popular, the run-up sports car. And, well, you can see some of the reasons why it's particularly popular here down on the grid. There you go. And the Freebond Engineering car. Now, this comes from Super Taikyu, so you'll notice the number board is a little bit different. This is like a Japanese series. The nearest equivalent is VLN in Germany. So you've got the Super Taikyu cars, and they're forming up the grid. So Pinkzilla's sister car, as we see up here, which is the latest spec, and we just see it through all the fans here. This is the number 3 car. Same livery as Pinkzilla, but it's blue. And this is the Super Taikyu version. But if you look around the front here, sorry ladies, you'll see you've got a different shape front wing. And if you are looking at the front end plates and the front dive planes, you are definitely not taking pictures of what the people behind me are taking pictures of. It's very different. So we keep going down the grid and we'll see the third type of car that you'll find in this NISMO Grand Prix. It's a unique race, really, where you've got all the different classes all shooting it out. And I think it's absolutely a great thing to see. Hello, girls. Look at that lovely little hat, hasn't she got? Now, down the back of the grid, we've got these cars also from the Super Taikyu series. You've got these Z cars, and there's a bunch of these Z cars. And these guys, particularly the 3 team cars from Okaba Jidosha, these guys like running around in grid order, and they're really... We don't normally get to see these cars running around together, and I'm going to try and find one of the drivers of these cars to have a quick word with, but I don't think we've got any drivers around, unfortunately, at the moment. So it's going to be very interesting to see how these cars will compare to the GT500s, the GT300s, and will they be able to get in amongst the GT3 cars? I think they might be able to get in amongst the GT3 cars, and as it seems, it's going to be a very difficult race for some of these cars, including the BMAX Engineering car. So that's all from me for now. Let's get back up to the studio and see the start of this race. And I'm joined here in the studio by a face some of you may find familiar. It's Super GT's regular pit lane commentator, Michael Crum. Michael, welcome.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, welcome to the NISMO Festival here. It's certainly going to be very interesting. I mean, it's supposed to be a fun race, but the moment the helmet's on and you are lined up on a grid, you do the warm-up lap. And between us drivers, have taken part in this race many times. I can promise you the adrenaline level will be as high as before a normal Super GT race. They all want to win that race to prove inside Nissan we're the best Nissan car.
It's exactly that, isn't it? And I get the impression that amongst the drivers that because it's not for championship points, because it's meant to be just for fun race, they want to go at it and have at it.
Yeah, they do, but then again, they also know they get a big bollocking if they hit each other. So, but what's going to be interesting is that you have the pole car, Ronnie and Sugio on Michelin tires, then you have the Yokohama tire car with Daiki and Yanagida, and they are a little bit similar, but the warm up might be very different. It's cold, there's no tire warmers. So the first lap will be very, very interesting how this is going to go. Because tires are really cold and they're going to start it probably straight after one rolling lap. So these cars have, way over 600 horsepower. They go down the straight with over 300 kilometer power. They have to shift down to first gear from sixth in turn 1. There's no tire warmers. It's ambient, it's 7 degrees now, air temperature. It is really, really cold, and the tires will take 2 or 3 laps, and that's where we're going to see the action. We're going to see who's making turn 1 or not. I mean, we have no idea. The guys have no idea where they're going to hit the brakes. It's carbon brakes, they're not even warm. And when the carbon brake even is warm, and it's so easy to lock up the fronts.
This isn't a series if you're watching at home. This is a one-off race, end of season race just for Nissan. So now there's 3 groups of cars. There's the GT500s, from Super GT. The GT300s, which you can see on the screen, and it does look like that B-Max car is still in trouble. And there's the GT4-ish cars, which are the Z cars from Super Type-Q. They're not exactly GT4 because they're not homologated as such, because they're very similar to the GT4s you'll see in the Dubai 24 Hours later, well, in the new year. We're coming up to the start, though.
Good.
The NISMO Grand Prix. And I think these ST3 specifications, 1 minute to the start of the formation lap, I think these ST3 cars are actually going to be quite competitive against the GT3s at least. And I think the GT3s, as you say, might spoil the day of the 500s. Well, on pole position in this race, we had Ronnie Quintarelli starting in the Motul Ortec GT-R. The number 1 car at second position is the Forum Engineering Advan GT-R, followed up by the Calsonic Impul car.
Right, off they go.
No, actually, and then in third position is the S-Road Mola Craft Sports car, and that's the GT500s rounded out. Then you can see, now the grid order for the GT300 is a little bit of a mystery how they've worked that out, as you have the Liqui Moly car, the Australian 2014 specification Australian Bathurst car, driven by Jan Mardenborough on Michelin tyres on pole position as GT3 cars. But those are hard compound tyres. So the second place car, which is the Blancpain Endurance Series car, and I forget who's starting that car, but that's in third in the GT3 class. Then you've got the Chinese GT Championship car from the Godzilla car written on the bonnet in the third position in that class. Following up that, you've then got the GT300 cars in class order, and then at the back of that, you've got the Super Type-Q GT3 cars in their championship class order, and at the back of that field you have the Z cars, which are completely
so my guess would be they were trying to slot in the Australian car or the Chinese car, the Blancpain car, by estimating maybe the testing times they've done this morning or yesterday during test runs, and say, okay, that's maybe the area where this car should start to not cause too much mayhem.
Exactly.
So I guess that's what they calculated to. I'm sure there was thought behind, behind the order of putting these cars in.
And we do have all of those GT300 cars that you've seen all season racing on Nismo TV. Click subscribe and follow us and make all the comments if you like all of the stuff that we're doing, because we're hoping to do a lot more of it next year. So we do have the Gainer car, we have Pinkzilla, the Dijon Racing GT-R, we have Bumblebee, the run-up group and does GT-R, and then we've got Pinkzilla's sister. Takaboshi is in the Blancpain car, I've just been told, so he's starting the Blancpain car. I'm not sure of the other driver lineups in the GT300 cars, because we haven't been given a full list of that, and they were chopping and changing them even coming into this race. And you see the GT500 trying desperately to get some heat into that, and Ronnie really going for it.
Yeah, I can imagine that. I'm not really well, the lights are off. I'm not really sure if the drivers maybe been complaining about the temperatures and maybe asked to have 2 warm-up laps. There's still a possibility of this. As you might remember, we've seen this at the Super GT racing, where they have the police cars running in front in order to give an extra warm-up lap. That's been down to having no tire warmers and for safety reasons, so that they don't have an accident and lose half the field.
You should have found us a NISMO GT-R police car. There is one, because we've seen it.
Yeah,
we've seen it in Super GT this year.
But I'm a fan now since this year, so I'm outside. So I hope they don't have a second warm-up. To be quite honest,
Jan's quite clearly wanting to get into it. Look, he was right onto the back of Chio just on that last corner.
So let's see if they actually start the race on that lap.
Well, it happened, I think, in one of the races, the first race at Motegi, round 3, obviously, at the penultimate race of the season, round 3. There were 2 warm-up laps there, but it didn't look like the message got to all of the drivers. Now, let's see what the pace car does.
Let's
it
see
looks
if
like 2 warm-up laps to me.
It looks like to me that... No, it's going in. That's good.
And as the message gone, right, they're all on the cold tyres.
Okay. Now, they don't want to pick up the speed early, because that means higher speed at turn 1, more trouble to brake. So they're going to wait as long as they can. Ronnie's going to wait as long as he can before he puts the power down, because in Japanese regulations you're not allowed to overtake before.
That was the tease. Oh, we've got the B-Max.
Before the line, you cannot overtake before the line.
So the lights.
Now he's gone. Ronnie's gone. Ronnie's gone.
2016 NISMO Grand Prix started. The green lights have waved, and into the pits comes. Oh no, that's not what we expected. It's the Spirits car from the Chinese GT Championship.
Should be off.
So the 3 has started the race, and who gets into the lead? That was Ronnie, I think.
Yeah, but I think the number 12 got JP's. Yeah, the order is still the same, right?
I think it was. We didn't get that. Yeah, Ronnie got.
The Yokohama car dropped to last in the 500 class.
That's what you predicted, actually, Michael. You saw that coming.
The warm-up is the slowest. I know that because I raced that car many years. The tire is really, really good, but they're using quite a hard compound, so it's going to take always a little bit to warm up. It's Daiki not trying to cause any trouble at the front, but having to let them go.
And that's the Michelin tires there on the Blancpain car driven by Jan, not the Blancpain car, the Australian GT car driven by Jan Mardenborough is suffering because he's on those hard Michelins and has already dropped 2 positions.
Yeah, well, once they warm up, they should be pretty good.
Once they've warmed up, but maybe it's too late, as we've seen, because taking the lead of the GT3 cars we're looking at is the Blancpain Endurance Series car driven by Takaboshi-san, but closing down on him is, I think it's Daiki in the B-Max car, isn't it?
No, Daiki is in the 500 car, in the 24 car. That should be Kazuki Hoshino.
We'll find out.
With the gearbox problems.
With the gearbox problems solved, yeah.
Obviously
it's
solved.
working.
Yeah, it's working, obviously.
And now Pink Zilla is coming after Mardenborough, as is the Gainer car and Bumblebee.
There's some action there. Well, let's see the distances on the 500.
Yeah, the 500s have got away quite nicely, actually.
The warm-up has been quicker than I thought.
Red car leads, blue car
seconds. You can see
the
British warm-up is pretty good.
Ronnie's still warming his tyres going down the straights. In fact, lots of the cars.
But Daiki has already lost a lot of ground, so with the...
Look at the train, that's like a NASCAR race, isn't it? The GT3 car's coming in a big lump with Jan Mardenborough leading them, Pink Zilla and the Gainer car all going to have a run into the first corner. Are they all going to get around with that sort of...
Yeah.
And the Gainer car gets through underneath Jan. Will Pink Zilla manage it as well? Has a look, decides not to.
Maybe.
And Bumblebee's now on Pink Zilla's tail. And the Z Cup is still going on at the back of this, but they're not really threatening the GT-Rs. Look at this, it's great racing. It's like
it is great racing.
Stock car racing with Nissan GT-Rs.
They should do 20 laps.
Yeah, I know. It's a shame the race isn't so long. But don't forget, the GT3 cars don't have to do a driver change, whereas the GT500s do.
No, they might win. They might win.
There is a chance of an unexpected result. Pink Zilla now getting past Jan Mardenborough's Australian specification car, and Bumblebee is now trying to do the same.
Oh, Jan must be gutted.
Yeah, he's not happy about that. Look at that, 3 wide though.
Well, he has not given up for sure. I think the warm-up will take a little bit longer on it.
That is all of the GT3 cars all together trying to race. Now, it looks a little bit like the B-Max engineering car is losing time because he dropped back a long way from the other 2 cars. You can't see the Blancpain Endurance Series car. It's gone. Takaboshi is gone. Whereas all the rest of the GT3 cars are together in a lump.
JP is keeping the same distance, but Ronnie is really pushing hard.
Chio in 3rd position, long way back now.
And Daiki's struggling to come back. So yeah, it's a tire war there, but you can see JP hanging in there, wanting to prove a point.
Well, look at this GT3
but here,
this is amazing.
Yeah, this is much closer.
With the driver change coming up in the GT500 car, as the Gainer car now has a run on the B-Max engineering car past the start-finish straight, and I think the Gainer car's got that one done. And I suspect that isn't an entirely healthy B-Max engineering run car. Pink Zilla now is getting into the toe and trying to do the same thing. But look, Jan Mardenborough's moving back up through, so I think his Michelin tyres are coming back up.
You will see the warm-up will change.
And he's gone around the outside. No, we didn't see this happen, but for some reason I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's the Blancpain Endurance Series car that's gone back in.
Yeah, no, that's the fight for the lead, I believe.
Yeah, they're fighting for the lead. I thought the Blancpain car was got. So
no, it's not. They're fighting for the lead.
Yeah, there's clearly was something we didn't see on camera.
So now maybe you got your wish come through. If the 500 cars all lose positions in the pit stop to the 300 cars, you have them coming through the field, and maybe we're going to have an incredible traffic jam in front of the line.
Team Motoyama there taking the lead of the group of Z cars from the Super Tight Q series. They look so much slower, but I mean they're having a great battle all the time.
It's a different category. You cannot really compare that.
But
still
look,
racing.
The GT3 cars.
Yeah, here
3 wide for the lead. Pink Zilla was in the lead. We didn't see that. Going around the outside and the Blancpain car. Pink Zilla in the lead. The Blancpain up the inside. Takaboshi trying to hold on there. That's not going to last. So Pink Zilla takes the lead. The number 48 car from Dijon Racing leading the GT3 car. And here comes Katsubashi Chio.
Chio, yeah.
Chio is in the S-Road Mola car in for his driver change. Now let's see how much time he's going to lose in the pits and whether it means the GT3 cars will get back in front. I'm pretty sure they will actually. So no tyre change. No, is it tyre change?
No tyre change. I think.
Well, there's an air gun on the right rear.
Come on, now we need the 300s to come already. I see the lights.
No, there's definitely air guns going there, Michael.
Really? Maybe they just take them.
Oh, they're taking the tyres off and putting them back on again.
Now the 300.
So the 300's gone back in. So this is a race now.
This is a race on now.
The race is really on. GT300 cars. The rules are now clearly that you have to take the tyres off and put them back on again. So and he's stalled. Chio is stalled in the pit lane. And again. And the GT300 battle is going like crazy
he
right
must have
now.
he must have seen the 300 cars going by and and freaked out.
So we now know that this is a GT300, GT3 and Super Type-Q ST GT3 battle for the lead and win of the Nismo Grand Prix. The GT500.
How many laps are left? We should know that. That would be.
We haven't looked. Let's just see what happens. Yeah. And it's just dawned on me. Of course, the Z cars don't have to pit at all.
No, but the 300 as well, right?
The 300
they
have to do a drive-through.
Ah, right.
But look at the speed differential as the 500s have caught up the back of, and actually the blue car is catching the red car without a doubt.
JP is catching now.
As you said, there was going to be action between these two.
So that's coming to closer.
Pink Zilla has lost the lead to the Blancpain Takaboshi in the Blancpain car, and on the tail is the BMAX engineering car.
Kazuki Yoshino is on it.
Yoshino everybody's in the fight for this one, and driver change coming up now. They're going to take JP out of the car.
JP out, Yasuda in.
Possibly wise with JP and Ronnie in such close contention.
But also, let's see if the 24 car, because of the mishap at the pit stop of the 46 car, if maybe
that's going to
Daiki can move ahead of them or not.
Well, these other guys can still make their pit stops. They can still make errors too.
Oh, look how close now it's becoming a fight there as well.
Yeah, don't bring him in yet.
They might pit in together now.
It is, of course, these two drivers, and it's side by side past the pits for the lead. Pink Zilla and BMAX Engineering, I think that was, because through the pits, yes, indeed, it's Takaboshi making his drive through, as is Jan Mardenborough, who's really not that far behind.
No. Wow.
So let's see how they feed back out, and will the two leading cars, the red car and the blue car, the Motul Ortec and the Calsonic, they're not pitting this lap by the look of it. No, they're not. They're coming through, so we've still got a battle on track for the lead.
Jan being very shrewd on his speed limiter there, releasing it once or twice. I think he kind of closed the gap.
It didn't look like he was. It looked like the crew was expecting JP to come in.
No, these guys, they want to battle it out.
They want to have the fight between themselves.
They're not interested in pitting too much.
We knew there was going to be, and they're catching. They've got to get between Jan and this is the two cars that have made in the GT300. I'm going to call it.
So 500.
I know he's turned in on him.
Oh, that's close. Oh. But you see, these guys are taking the risk.
The driver's red mist has come down there. JP does not want the last run in this car to be behind Ronnie. He cannot accept
the race is on here.
Now, will they stop this time? I don't think. I think they're just going to stay out.
Well, they have to stop now, I guess. I mean.
I don't think they care if they get disqualified. I think they just want to race this one out. This is for honour.
That could well be. Oh, look at that. JP, you should lay this breaker out there,
I'd be surprised if either of these two cars comes back looking pristine.
This is a good battle.
This is a battle that has gone on for what, 3 or 4 years?
Many years.
Yeah, this is about. And the BMAX Engineering GT3 car,
Hoshino having his drive through,
is still leading. There goes the BMAX car. So it's going to be a little bit confusing as to where the positions are. Yes. And JP has got a run on Ronnie.
He's coming in now.
He's pitting.
But how close was he now? He had a run on him.
He had a run on him. I'm surprised.
Oh, look, he's flying into the pits. I mean, make no mistake. That is all out there. Well, let's see. Hopefully that goes smooth.
So we're still expecting pit stops from the race leader, the Motul Ortec GT-R for pit and driver change. We're also expecting the Forum Engineering car into the pits, and still some drive-through from the GT3s. And it's going to be interesting to see where those Z cars stack up on that, because they were only just losing the lead lap to the GT500s when the 500s started stopping, and they don't have to do the drive-through. I don't think they're quite quick enough to beat the GT3s, but they certainly can upset the apple.
Yeah, let's see how that plays out.
That was a slow getaway there.
Yeah, but he didn't stall at least.
Yeah, Chio's going to be living that one. No, that wasn't Chio, of course. Chio got out. Yasuda's going to be embarrassed.
So let's see what's going on there.
Well, the Z cars are having a formation race of their own in a bunch, three wide past the pits. We didn't get to see that on camera. There they are in the background. That is their own little private battle. 3 of those cars from the same team. From Super Type-Q, and there is the blue car. And into the pits now comes the Gainer car with Pink Zilla. So the Gainer car was leading that class with Pink Zilla in second.
So we
And Pink Zilla ready to slow down.
just past the straight, the 46 car has come by with Motoyama probably at the wheel, and you've seen them stall in the pits right
Yes,
there.
that's right, yeah.
And the distance to JP is really, really big. JP already left the pits way before, so there's a huge difference there. So my guess is they will finish last in the 500 class fourth.
Well, I think we might see the GT300s getting amongst them.
But let's see when Ronnie
through.
pits. This will be it. When Ronnie pits and does the change, if JP Yasuda now can jump them or not, because it looks like the car is a little bit faster.
It does.
Yeah.
Forum engineering guys looking like they're getting ready for a stop imminently.
Yes, he's probably coming in.
God, race
now.
is so short with pit stops. It's baffling. Now, there's a battle there going on between the Gainer car and I think that was Jan Mardenborough's Australian GT specification.
And Yasuda knows now he has to give everything from the outlet on to beat the number one car.
This is what David Coulthard would call the undercut.
Yes, this is the try of the undercut.
It could work.
Could well work.
And, well, the Forum engineering car is trying to do the same thing but the other way around, and the pit crew is ready for the Motul Ortec team. And, well, no sign of that car into the pit lane quite yet. No, wait, that couldn't be Motul Ortec. Why would they be waiting for a bit?
Who?
Oh, no, the Motul Ortec car is due in, yes, that's right. Oh, and there's damage. Yeah, is that a tyre failure or...
To the 46 car.
The 46 car has had contact,
that must
and
have...
there's fluid coming out of that.
Yeah, this is
There's
not good.
Fluid.
Well,
He's blown it up. The 46 S-Road Mola GT-R has blown up somehow.
Yeah,
that is definitely fluid coming out of that car.
either failure or contact. We haven't seen it on the footage.
He's not going to stop though. The race isn't long enough to stop.
It's probably Motoyama.
And in comes the number one.
So
Motor
now, there
Ortec
we
car,
go. Yeah, it's showtime.
Followed by the Blue Zilla.
Number one car in now approaching the pits.
Well, the damage to the S-Road
There we
Mola
go.
car is right on the right front corner.
Yeah,
there's not really any fluids there, so it looks like something.
No,
like-
this is the carbon parts touching the tire that's causing the.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
not fluid. It's smoke. But I don't
That
think
looks
it's
like
very
it must have
safe.
been contact,
I don't
I
think
think,
it's
yeah.
very safe to continue.
And all 3-4 wide
Side
for the
by
GT3 going down the start finish.
Okay,
line.
now we have to watch out. Where's JP's car? Yasuda.
So, very
This is it
routine
now.
stop for Motul Ortec. No, still waiting. Gentle getaway.
I still cannot see on the
So it does
straight
seem like
line.
The Z cars do
JP.
seem to have to do a drive-through as well.
Now JP in the straight coming. But
Oh, he's got it.
this
He's
is
got
really
it.
close, but he got the lead. I think
Yeah, 'cause he's got the speed.
undercut done, yeah. Done.
Easy.
That should be the win taken.
Blue car has got the lead,
Yeah.
but where he's still behind the GT3 cars.
Are you really sure about
Yeah,
that?
because they went past quite a long time ago.
Then I would like to know how many laps there are.
Yeah, exactly.
that would be pretty.
The race is over when the flag waves. Now, in theory,
Well, don't forget they're like 10 seconds faster per lap. So
Exactly. Well,
they
in
should
theory,
just
there's-
eat them up.
there's 12 race laps plus one, so they check a flag lap.
Ah, all right.
But the rules aren't being followed particularly closely in any race so far today, so we're going to see.
Why did they say +1? That's a strange regulation. Is that
So the Forum engineering car, which would have been the leader, is coming in with its sister team car, basically from the
from the Super Taikyu, the
Super
champion
Taikyu,
car
Kondo-
that won the
Kondo car.
championship?
Yeah, exactly. And they also won the big race, the long distance race, didn't they?
Correct.
And there goes the group.
You're
of
right. So
red
that's the
cars.
main lead now then of the race
Yeah,
that
so-
we've just watched. The 300 cars, right?
Yeah, it would be the BMAX engineering car, which hasn't done its
We have to
drive-through.
see where the next where JP comes. That will be the next.
And
follower.
the rest of the BMAX car hasn't done its drive-through yet.
hasn't done it.
No, I don't think so. So he's on his own. These, the Tanax car, Pink Zilla, and the 23 car,
They have done it.
have done their
Okay.
drive-through.
All right.
Bumblebee did his
Are
drive-through.
you good with this?
And, these guys have all done it.
Yeah.
So where's the first GT5 option?
JP.
There he is. That's a big gap.
So if you tell me now there's 3 laps left,
Yeah.
I can tell you they do it. If
it's
you tell
gonna
me
be
it's
one
2
place.
laps, I'm not so sure.
So the Forum
I'm
engineering
interested with
car is
Forum
by
engineering.
far in third.
But this, yeah,
No, the other two have gone. They've
yeah,
gone. So Kondo can't win this one.
no. I think he closed. Look, he closed the gap. Look how close
Yeah,
they are.
they are.
I mean, now he doesn't have the tire warm-up problem. I think they're using the same tires.
Exactly,
So
they're
you could
catching
see
up.
now that it will still the fight for P2 is still on here.
The
And,
last of the GT3.
so what I predicted was right with the tires, but there won't be maybe enough race time,
There might be
for
enough race
them
time.
to create the difference.
Now here we've got on screen what I'm calling the GT4 battle. These super tight Z cars running around formation. They basically every practice session they've been running together, and the X-Rose Mola is in with that damage. So I think
that makes sense, you know.
Yeah,
you don't want to have an accident here.
We didn't see any contact, but he could have had a little coming together with a GT300 car somewhere.
Could be, or it could have been another failure somewhere.
No, they're calling that a day for X-Rose Mola.
Yeah.
Sad end for that team, which was just unlucky all year.
No,
basically.
they had a really unlucky year all year, so that's not, well, that's kind of a typical ending.
Yes, typical ending for that team this year. What a shame.
Yeah, that's sad for Motoyama.
And he's looking at the front of the car, wondering how that damage happened.
Yeah.
What did you hit? And now look at the GT3 battle has rejoined, and now you've got the Z cars in the middle of all of that as well. Now, taking a punt at this, as yes, JP Oliveira is catching those GT300 cars
very quickly. Yeah?
Very quickly. So how much race lap have we got left? The lap counter is actually on the gantry, but where we're sitting, we can't see that.
We can't just see it now.
And we're 10 laps in.
So it's 2 laps left?
2 laps left, and there he is, working his way through the field. Can the blue car beat all the GT3s? Now look at the speed differential.
I think he needs one more lap.
Now Pink Zilla isn't the leader, or is... No, I think the Gainer car is leading the race now. And
maybe one of the GT3 cars' tactic is maybe to pit in the last lap, so to not to go to the line to the pit lane.
Yeah. So you only get half, by doing that, of course, it's not against the rules, by doing that, you only get half the pit lane loss.
Yeah, you might get disqualified. I'm not sure if that's in the regulations.
I'm not sure there are any regulations.
No, they're not. They are not, but there are gentlemen regulations here.
So yeah, well, that's the end of the 46. The career for that car, actually. So it's the absolute end of the career for that. That will be a new...
Okay, now okay, look at that. That's done, no?
Not yet.
Well,
no, that's the B-Max car.
He hasn't pitted.
I think the B-Max car hasn't pitted. He might be doing what you say.
What about him?
I can't remember seeing that one come past the pits either. So there's still 2 GT3 cars.
That might play to the last...
Now that's the one that has pitted, the Zero car. Pink Zilla has pitted.
Okay, so but
JP will get them.
If you're right, he will get the leader this lap. And this might be the lap.
This is the penultimate lap.
Penultimate, okay.
I've got a lap counter. So this is the start of lap.
Right.
I think.
Let me take a look quickly. Sorry, I'm as excited as you right now.
This is a baffling and bizarre race. The blue car has now got back past Pink Zilla, so he's now hunting down the Gainer car, not very far in front. There is the Gainer car coming up into and through Sector 2 here at Fuji Speedway. Taking the lead, though, still in the lead is that B-Max engineering car that had that gearbox on it. And I think Michael is right. He's going to come in at the end of the race. Indeed, it's showing JP as the leader.
I think they were much faster. They lapped them almost already before the pit stop. Yeah. So usually we lap the 307 laps, and that would happen before the pit stop. So they kind of lapped them. That's why we got confused looking out at the main straight all the time.
Yeah, maybe got the lap.
They're lapped. So actually, it's unfortunately for us, it's already
I think the timing screen's wrong. Give him a penalty. This race is absolutely baffling, bizarre, and quite wonderful.
B-Max is leading the GT.
B-Max is leading the GT3 race. I still think he's leading the race, Oh, that's a checker flag, and JP Oliveira.
Well, their first win this season, and I think they deserve that one very much. Especially in Fuji, JP, had in the 100R a tire failure. While leading the race, just with 2 laps to go or something, and everyone here was crying for him. It was terrible to watch. I think he really, really deserved this, and you could have saw him fight in the first few laps, and that he really wanted that win. So well deserved for Hoshino.
And that car, as you say, hasn't had the results, and the Motor Lautech car really dominated the Super GT season. And second position for that car, and here you go, finishing up the order is the endless battle of the Z cars. I don't know which one won that. They've all been that far apart.
But you could definitely see they were not holding back anything.
No, the Z cars were going for it.
And I'm sure JP was gutted in the radio shouting, "Give me one more lap." I mean,
Exactly.
he wanted to have actually go in turn one at Ronnie,
Yeah.
right? You could see that, and the team called him in.
And so I think winning the GT, I'm calling it GT300, is the BMAX engineering car.
Yes.
Well, that did have those super soft Super GT tyres on it.
Absolutely. So
a bit of an advantage.
Yeah, a bit. I would say so.
So it'll be very interesting to hear the driver comment at the end of this one. It's the interesting thing with the blue car taking the victory there. It's I guess a fitting end for the career of these 4 Nissan GT-R GT500s. They will be replaced by a new machine next year, also a GT-R GT500,
Correct.
but it's the 2017 model year. And it's all new monocoques as far as I understand for those old cars. So these cars are just going to be pushed off into the museum.
But anyway, nice to see all you guys' comments and stuff.
It's great to have you up here, and hopefully next year we'll have you maybe for some Super GT events with us as well. So
okay, thank you guys. I'm gonna go down there and hang out there for the finale.
good to see you, Michael.
So I hope I see you guys all next year.
It was the NISMO Grand Prix. We saw that fantastic race. That was actually really good.